And welcome back after Council took a recess today at the regular City Council meeting, April 2nd, 2018. We left off on item 5B under Old Business. It reads, approving and authorizing execution of a developmental procedures agreement relative to public improvements in the vicinity of Green Hill Road and Coneflower intersection. Is there a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any further comments from council?
Please.
Requires a roll call vote, please.
I would like to comment.
Oh, you wanted to?
Excuse me. Yeah, just go over why we're doing that. if you
I'm
would.
sorry. That's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Yeah, this is an agreement between the city and Green Hill Estates, which is Locker Development, for the improvements to that intersection at Green Hill and Coneflower. And it states that those improvements will be designed, we'll review the design plans and be put in place in conjunction with Quick Start Development.
Thank you. Any further, well, did we already vote on that, or I just called it?
Called it.
Called for the vote.
I'll once again call for the vote. Thank you.
6 voting aye, 1 voting nay, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item C is a resolution setting April 16th as a date of public hearing, the proposed vacation and dedication of utility easements on Pinnacle Prairie Business Center North. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Motion second. Put it up for council to ask any clarification to staff. Seeing and hearing none, requires a roll call vote, please.
6 voting aye, 1 voting nay, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item D is approving and authorizing execution of a maintenance and repair agreement with Quick Trip Incorporated relative to a post-construction stormwater management plan. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Motion second. Requires a roll call vote, please.
6 voting aye, 1 voting nay, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item G is new business. G1 is the consent calendar. The following items will be acted upon by a voice vote in a single motion without separate discussion. Unless someone from the council or the public requests an item to be pulled separate for discussion, is there any such request from the council?
I'd like to pull G as in George.
G is in George. Anyone else on council? In the public? Hearing and seeing none, I'm not going to summarize the entire list just for saving my voice tonight, council. So I will, however, I will read through item A and then just ask for your vote and circle back to G. A is indeed approve the following recommendations relative to appointment of boards and commissions. Mr. Jeff Thompson, Sue Armbrecht, and Patrick Phelan. As always, we appreciate these folks serving the city in those kind of capacities. Otherwise, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent calendar less item G.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving back to item G, it reads, approve a request by Cedar Falls Utilities for a temporary variance to allow painting of the water tower to occur on Sundays. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Mr. Burr, question?
My problem on this was there's no end date. We're approving to allow it on Sundays. CFU requested it for 5 to 6 weeks, but when we approve this, it doesn't have an end date. So I think we should put how long we're going to allow it on Sundays, and if they need longer, say we said July 1st. If they need longer, they could come back and ask for longer. But I think it's important we put an end date on this.
Is that typical from CFU in these sort of situations?
We certainly can put an end date on it if you would like. In the letter that's attached, they explain that this coating project will start on April 16th and would need to be done within 60 days. So I just quick counted that out. It would be June 14th. We could ask CFU if they want to speak on that topic. They're here tonight.
Are you comfortable with that? Or were you
Yeah, I was going to say just July 1st, which gives them more than the 60, but that way we have an end date.
I think we can carry that. There's a motion and second. Any further discussion from council? All those approved say yes, please.
Aye.
Sorry.
We do what you tell us.
I'm not sure what I'm saying.
We picked up on that.
All those opposed, nay. It passes.
Or no.
No, yes.
Don't confuse them.
Item 2 is a resolution calendar. The following items will be acted upon by a roll call vote and on a single motion without separate discussion unless someone from the council or the public requests an item to be pulled separately. Any such requests from council? Any such requests from the public? Hearing and seeing none, once again, I do not want to, I do want to summarize. I'm not going to summarize. I will ask for a motion to approve the resolution calendar, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussions by council? Requires a roll call vote, please.
All voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item H, is there a motion to allow bills and payroll?
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Requires a roll call vote, please.
All voting aye, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item I is referrals. Does council have items for referrals this evening? Cruz?
I'm not sure if it's a referral, but based on our discussion this evening about Quick Star, a thought I had was, could the city look at north of Green Hill along those properties, would there be any places that we could plant additional trees to add additional sound and visual barrier? Is that something staff could look into to see if that's a reasonable consideration, or?
We can certainly move it forward towards a referral and see if council agrees before staff takes that time.
Make that referral.
Been motioned to have staff look at planting more trees along the north quarter there of Green Hill. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned second. Any further discussion from council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries for the referral to, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, go to a committee. Is that sort of the intention there?
Yeah, then staff
Discussion.
would bring it to a committee to
Okay.
talk about, yeah.
Mr. Cruz, did you have a referral?
Yes, I'd like to ask that the city and staff remove gasoline station from the listing of approved facilities for an MU residential district because of all the litter noise and all the things that they had publicly stated.
Are you asking for a referral or a motion to remove,
Or-
as you indicated, to go to committee to discuss?
Referral to committee?
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yep, to discuss for a committee meeting upcoming. There is a motion on the table to have staff look at, forgive me, Mr. Cruz, removing gas stations.
And putting into a more
BMU
appropriate
use.
category, C1 or something like that.
Can I just ask, isn't staff in the process of looking at ordinances anyway? Would that just be a logical discussion? Or does that bump that up ahead of some other?
Well, we do have in our CIP and our plan to kick off a overhaul to our zoning ordinance that probably will start in the fall with a committee starting up, and then we'll start going through section by section. And so then we would evaluate consistency with the districts that we want to adopt with our comprehensive plan.
So with that motion and that information, is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned second. Any further discussion from council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Opposition, please. Mr. Miller, I hear yourself. 2, 3, 4. I don't believe that passes. Any other items for
Yes,
council
Mr. Mayor.
for referral?
The word ex parte is so sadly misunderstood. I think it worked well in this case, but I think we need to do a better job of letting our citizens know that they are our business, that they do have appropriate times to come forward with their concerns. And the appropriate time is during P&Z, which are public meetings, where both the person with a proposal and the citizens have a right to speak. I think we need to reiterate that because they have more times to come forward in Cedar Falls than in most towns. So I would ask our publications to take a look at talking about ex parte and the benefits of it and the disadvantages. Right now, a lot of council are against it, and I certainly didn't like it in this case. I think we need to just clarify that.
Very good. That sounds to me like more of an update.
That's an update, not
Okay.
a request.
Okay. Anything further for referrals with council? Any further updates from council? Moving on to item K is public forum. Speakers will have one opportunity to speak for up to 5 minutes on topics germane to city business. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak tonight? I see a few folks. Ms. Pop, if you'd like to come up.
My name is Penny Pop. I live at 4805 South Main Street. And on behalf of the residents who signed the petition opposing Quickstar, we want to thank you for your time and your consideration in this matter. I believe it's brought up some very interesting points, and I'm sure the discussion will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pop. Skane?
Jim Skane, 2215 Clay Street. For decades, Cedar Falls had a corridor that connected it to Waterloo. It was U.S. Highway 218. In 1970, the corridor was renamed University Avenue and was expanded to 6 lanes. When 218 moved north, University Avenue was still the corridor that handled the traffic through Cedar Falls to Waterloo. The traffic on the University corridor increased when U.S. Highway 58 became a corridor between U.S. 20 South and the relocated 218 North and intersected with University. In 2012, a DOT study said that over 20,000 cars were projected to use the University Avenue corridor daily. In 2015, University Avenue had traffic lights that were optimized and that enabled pedestrians and bicyclists to use it safely. The speed limit was 45 miles per hour. Traffic flowed smoothly. In fact, traveling from Main Street to Midway Drive could be driven in an average of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Business along University Avenue flourished because of the traffic volume. Much of the volume was through volume. Over the years, the road's surface on University Avenue deteriorated. To reconstruct it, the state of Iowa entered into an agreement with Cedar Falls to provide $20 million to the city with the understanding that the city would decide how to reconstruct it and would maintain the reconstructed road. The understanding was that $20 million would be the total cost of the reconstruction. Data shows that it could have been reconstructed for $20 million if the existing concept had been used. When the City Council decided to reconstruct University Avenue, it adopted the complete street concept, which would reduce University from 6 lanes to 4 and make accommodations for vehicles, pedestrians, and bicyclists. University would continue to be the corridor it always had been. The City Council decided that it did not want to implement the complete street concept. Instead, in February 2015, the City Council accepted the Foth Engineering bid to reconstruct Avenue. The Foth engine design had 6 roundabouts. 3 years later, the reconstruction continues. The 3rd section and part of Section 2 are under construction. Section 3 has the dog bone roundabouts number 5 and 6, being built at the intersection of Highway 58 and University. The other roundabouts at Boulder, Holiday, Waterloo Road, and Cedar Heights are completed except for the landscaping of Cedar Heights Drive.
1 minute remains, Mr. Skane.
Good. When finished, University Avenue will have landscaping in the roundabouts, medians, and at the Main Street entrance. The result is the roundabouts on University provide no safe crossing for pedestrians as mandated by the complete streets concept. The roundabouts provide difficult travel for bicyclists. The roundabouts increase the time from Main Street to Midway from 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Instead of 20,000 vehicles a day on University, the traffic has slowed to a trickle, and a traffic count would show that the vehicle number using it is probably between 5 and 10,000. The cost is approaching $40 million. University is a broken corridor. Can I have 1 second more?
10 seconds would be great.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
The roundabouts do not provide the easy flow of traffic that a corridor should. As constructed, the roundabouts do not serve local vehicles, pedestrians, and bicyclists as well. $40 million spent, and University has become broken as a corridor, all because the City Council decided to accept the Fourth design.
Thank you, Mr. Skane.
2015.
Was there another question, or did staff have anything, or council for previous speaker for staff? Come on up, sir, if you would, please. State your name and address.
I'm Joe Bohr, 1310 Washington Street, here in Cedar Falls. I'm here to represent the Cedar Falls Farmers Market. And I have nothing to do with Quick Start, so you can relax on that point.
You get 10 minutes.
First of all, I'd like to thank the council, and I'd like to thank the police department for their support of the market. Every Saturday morning, the police check the parking, because there's no parking in the area in which we have our vendors, and occasionally they have to remove vehicles, contact people to get vehicles moved, or in some cases even have to tow them away. So we certainly appreciate that. For the new council members, I'd like to go back just a little bit in history. If the old council members will remember 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, we had some issues with complaints with the market that we were not allowing farmers to come to the farmers market. At that time, we had a contract with the city. And that contract, if you call it contract resolution, it's written, but it's not actually signed. Anyway, it gives us permission to use city property for the market. And at that time, we were allowed by the city to use 3rd Street between Franklin and Clay, and Clay Street between 3rd Street and halfway down City Hall. And that was all we were allowed. So for the people who were complaining about not getting in, we had all of our spaces filled. We had no room to expand the market. We came to the council and worked that entire summer to rewrite the resolution and get permission to expand the market. We have not been able to expand the market since then, because we've only had enough vendors who have applied to replace those that had decided not to come back to market. This year, we have enough vendors, and we are going to expand the market. And working with the police and the council, the decision was to expand the market down 3rd Street first. So the market's going to expand on 3rd Street between City Hall and the Women's Club. We are planning on blocking off the street, 3rd Street, at the alley before the Lincoln Savings Bank. And we will block that off with cones. And then, because we're going to use the entire intersection there of Clay and 3rd, we're going to block off the Clay Street at the Women's Club driveway. That way we can allow, and I believe there, oh, you've got it up already, good job. I believe that we will use the parking area there between the Women's Club and 3rd Street for vendor parking. We have a number of vendors that come in, they drop their stuff off in their space, and then they move their cars. So that'll be a good place. We won't interfere with other parking throughout the area. We're looking forward to expanding the market. And if you look at the map up here, is there a pointer or something? The area of expansion is going to be east and direction here, south of City Hall. Right now, you can see that there's about 7 vendors there. There's a couple that are still haven't decided whether they're coming to market yet or not. Some have applied to Cedar Rapids Market as well. And if they get Cedar Rapids Market, then they're not going to come to ours. I understand that. It's a bigger market. But anyway, thank you. We just came to inform you of what we're going to do, and I don't think it requires any resolution on the part of City Hall. We have one request, and that is from the police suggested that we ask the city to put a no parking sign for Saturday mornings on the area of the expansion. We already have no parking signs on the others. So if we could get the city to put no parking in that area in which the expansion of the market is going to be.
Great.
Okay?
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you very much for your time tonight. I know you're...
Mr. Ward, did you want to share when the first date will be with everyone?
Share what?
The first date of the market for this year?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the first day of the market is the first Saturday in May. And we go to the last Saturday in October.
That's the Kentucky Derby, you know.
Hopefully it won't be snowing that day.
Yeah, it could be. The way the weather has been, it could be snowing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you do. There's one other I thought hand up for, yes, sir.
Do we need any kind of formal action for that parking sign?
I believe it's an administrative decision, was it not? Or am I wrong there?
We'll do some research, and then if it requires council action, we'll bring that back to you.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Reggie Blanco, 318. Just a suggestion after all this long meeting. I would like to the city to help the citizens a little bit more with the information that is shared with some of the resolutions or the different recommendations that the staff has to provide you to make decisions, to be in detail prior to your vote, just not bulletproof 4 items and there are questions in between. This is something, we just always improve, and I think that this will improve on your time, same as your packets. How many people were against some issue, that you have a better understanding on what you're voting, against or for. Things that for us as a citizens can go back and say, okay, this is how many letters say yes, how many letters say no. I think that it will be a little bit more clear for future complex votes. And I don't know if it's just a suggestion as a citizen. And then the enforcement of those recommendations. On the minutes is going to be your recommendations, but what if the things are not being followed? That's something that in critical issues, that's stuff that you as the voters should know and make note of that. Thank you so much for your time during this critical issue and for moving the city forward in other issues.
Thank you, Mr. Blanco. And just for council, I believe Mr. Blanco was talking about potentially the solution we have of signing up for automatic emails for our packet that come the same time you folks receive it on Friday. And then, of course, questions and answers can always come via contact as far as what has gone through the process, PNC, and those sorts of things. Thank you. Is there another public comment? Hearing and seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.